result of that soldier being freed. Let's talk about the situation in the wider Middle East with former Israeli ambassador to the UN, Dan Gillerman. Hi, it's good to see you again.
Morning.
Thanks very much indeed for joining us on the programme. How do you feel about the number of civilian lives being lost on both sides?
Terrible, absolutely terrible. I'm devastated. I think what we're witnessing in this war today is a real tragedy on both sides. What happened in Israel on October 7th is unimaginable to any human being.
Feel free to speak directly to me if you'd like to, Ambassador.
Right. And it's really, I mean, it's the worst that Israelis or even the Jewish people have experienced since the Holocaust. And it's unforgivable and unforgettable. But at the same time, I grieve for every Palestinian civilian who is killed and for every Palestinian child. And what we're witnessing there is also a tragedy. You know, the big difference is that while for Israel, every dead Palestinian child is a mistake and a tragedy, for the Hamas, every dead Israeli child is a success and a cause for victory and celebration. You know, we're dealing about two different entities, about a democratic country that is trying to defend itself against what is truly an existential threat and a terrorist organization that has proved to be worse than ISIS, worse than Al-Qaeda. So, and truly, and I know, you know, it's easy to say and much more difficult to understand, but all the civilian casualties, and there were, and there unfortunately will be more civilian casualties in Gaza, are casualties of the Hamas. Hamas are using their people as human shields. Hamas is placing their missiles and rockets in bathrooms and bedrooms and family homes. They're placing people in hospitals and placing their leaders in bunkers under hospitals. Actually, everything Hamas does is a war crime because, according to the Geneva Convention and to the ICC, to have civilians in war zones, specifically knowing that they will be hurt and killed, is a war crime. And we are doing everything possible. You know, your generals, okay, British generals, have described the Israeli army as the most moral army in the world. We are doing everything possible to avoid civilian casualties, but when the enemy uses them as human shields, some civilian casualties are inevitable, and it's a tragedy.
But Mr. Ambassador, how difficult is it for Israel to work within the parameters